we're potentially looking at $130 billion entering the market and potentially pumping the market up, which is a very substantial amount of money, needless to say, and it is, you know, very much something that could take us right up towards $29,000. So I'm going to be covering this with you because these are huge opportunities to be able to take advantage of. You already know I'm going to be looking at doing this on OKX and on Bybit, both of which are linked in the description down below, and you get up to 60k in bonuses when you sign up using my links in the description, so definitely go ahead and check them out. We are in a very, very interesting position because Bitcoin has managed to continue to pump up over here. We've actually hit this high at $25,000. This is the first time that we've been here since August of last year, and I really want to put into context for you how quickly this happened. From the start of this rally, you know, where it started to get very explosive to where we are right now, it's been a month and a half. So very, very nice time frame there from this low up to setting this high. It took roughly a similar time period. This took 2 months, or actually, depending on what you're looking at it, depending on how you're looking at it, we're actually going a little bit faster this time, and that definitely that definitely looks like, you know, we're picking up some legs here, some steam, you know. But what I think is really interesting is actually on this news article right here. Now, this is actually something that was published when the markets were initially taking a little bit of a tumble, and it's because of what's going on with the United States government and the dollar, and so on and so forth. You know, we are now seeing stable coins potentially starting to face a little bit more regulation, and my phone is going crazy, guys, sorry. We're potentially seeing some stable coins, you know, facing some regulatory issues, and we've seen some effects of this already take hold on the market. We've got $290 million of Binance USD, BUSD, I believe that's what BUSD stands for, being redeemed within 8 hours. That's 2 days ago, so that's a very, very short time frame. And just in general, we've seen 9 billion BUSD redeemed in the last 100 days, which is quite substantial, and really the only way to redeem these stable coins is by entering, you know, is by buying Bitcoin, or just any crypto, right? That's the easiest way. There's obviously many ways, but that's the easiest one, and I think that's really significant because it potentially indicates, you know, what we're seeing right now in terms of a lot of buying pressure coming in. Because, see, one of the very, very interesting things that's taken hold of this market right now is that we've seen a fair bit of bearish news, pretty much, especially like around here, the market was really getting hit with bearish news, but the price was just kind of rising up, which was a really strong sign for us, showing us that actually the market might be in a pretty decent place right now. You know, if the market is responding to bearish news by just fucking rising up, well, that's a serious bull market activity right there. You know, that's the, you know, that kind of thing that only happens in a bull market, which is obviously quite exciting for us because that does potentially mean we're looking at some very nice things happening to us in this market. And you know, I think this is coming at a good time because, you know, with that news and also just the kind of price action, seeing this pullback, you know, we are now trading at this high, which I want to focus your attention on yet again. This is actually very, very important, and we're going to come back to the BUSD stuff in just a second, how I came to the 130 billion number. If you're excited for that, do me a favor and smash up the likes as well. Coming at you again with another video. Shout out to those of you that tuned into yesterday's live stream as well. If you're subscribed, you're going to be seeing those. You've got the bell icon checked and all that good stuff. We are now potentially seeing a double top pattern emerging right here, which is where things are potentially getting very, very dangerous. Now, double tops have been disastrous for Bitcoin previously. Take a look at some of the last ones that we had. Over here, we set a double top in the beginning of the 2018-2017 bear market, 2018 bear market. We set a top there again when we rallied up in 2019, and it resulted in a catastrophic minus 71% drop within literally the space of, yeah, just under a year. I don't know, like call it 8 months or whatever. And on this occasion, we saw another double top. Again, this took 203 days to bottom out, although we actually went lower than this. And we saw a similar minus 73% drop. And I actually covered this with you as well recently, which you're going to know about if you were subscribed. Or we could be looking at another similar double top pattern playing out right here, where if we see a similar kind of 73% drop, that is going to be putting us down at 6,500. Obviously, every time I said things like this on this YouTube channel, I also told you that I don't think this is going to happen. How this goes over people's head, I don't fucking know, because if you got to the part where I said 6,500, you would have definitely heard the part where I said I don't think this is going to happen. But a price target is a price target nonetheless, and me not thinking something is going to happen doesn't mean it won't happen. You know, I didn't think that Bitcoin would go below 20K, so, you know, I was wrong about that. Alright, so, you know, I think that's a really, really important thing to keep in mind, is that our job as technical analysts and as traders is to stay grounded in reality, where we might not necessarily expect that something happens, but we still ought to be prepared for it anyway, right? It's only, it's really just about being disciplined in these markets with what we're seeing, and making sure that we're not, you know, just getting consumed with our biases, because that is obviously a very dangerous position to be in overall. Now, another chart that I want to show you right here as well is to do with some of our Ichimoku clouds, you know, and again, just focusing on our double tops. You know, we didn't actually see green Ichimoku clouds saving Bitcoin. So for example, we had a green Ichimoku cloud right here, right before, right around when we set the double top, you know, expecting that we could end up kind of rising up. It didn't end up helping Bitcoin. Bear in mind, guys, this is on the daily time frame. Up here, we had an Ichimoku cloud when we set the first high, didn't allow us to set a new high, and over here we had an Ichimoku cloud when we set the second double top here, and that didn't help Bitcoin. And the reason that this is significant is we're potentially in a similar situation now, right? We're seeing a lot of the same signs, and obviously we're obviously going to see this, because you only set a double top if you've been rallying up, and you know, if you're rallying up, you're obviously going to have support clouds. So this point almost in itself defeats itself, but what we are seeing is that the same kind of puzzle pieces are all coming together at the same time. You know, and these are things where, you know, when you get a lot of it coming together at the same time, my argument is don't ignore it. You know, we are seeing signs that have repeated throughout history before, which could potentially turn into a problem. So right now we are in that double top territory. What we need to do is clear this high, and clear it with some conviction. What does conviction mean? That means rising above it by a certain few percentage points. So that could mean rising above it by, you know, 1%, rising above it by 3%, by 5%. I like 3%. I think that's a really nice number. If we get up to about 26K, that would definitely, we don't even need to get that high, 25.8, whatever. That would definitely be real enough for me, and that we get a daily candle close above that level as well. So look, we might not do that now. We've got 3 hours left until this daily candle closes, so you know, it's not that much time. By the way, let's see the fear and greed index. Yeah, I actually told you guys we're probably going to be above 60, and look at that, we're at 62 right now. This also updates in 3 hours. So you know, we're definitely quite high sentiment-wise as well. People are obviously quite happy with what's happening in the market. They're definitely in greedy territory right now. But at a time like this, you know, if we do just kind of blast right through resistance, we can, I think, very easily see price levels like $29,000 as well. So, you know, I don't want to act like that's completely off the cards. I still think that it's entirely possible, you know, and I think that given the fact that we have seen a nice correction just literally, you know, ended just 2-3 days ago, you know, that is going to be one of those things that could, you know, just fuel Bitcoin up and allow Bitcoin to mount another attack. Now, the best case scenario, and I've been saying this for a while, is going to be that Bitcoin kind of drops down into this range, captures a bit of support, and then continues to rally up, right? This is the same thing that I talk about all the time. I love to see these retracements, these back tests of old areas of resistance turning into new areas of support, because that is the single best way that we can actually demonstrate that we are in a bullish environment, right? We had the same thing happen right here, where we previously found this area to be resistance on 2 occasions, very nicely spaced out, but then it flipped into support. So as far as bullish signs go, that's a very, very strong one that the market could have given us, and I'm definitely happy to see that. It's definitely something that gives me some reassurance in this market at these turbulent times. Now, the other thing that I want to highlight and bring to your attention is to do with our stable coins, because like I said, with that news article that I showed you a little bit back, we are potentially looking at you know, just some more regulation. I don't know where it actually says this on this article, but we are potentially looking at you know, more regulation, which could you know, just make them less appealing to be using in the markets, right? And people always ask me, you know, what's my opinion on stablecoins? My opinion is you go back into real fiat currencies, because stablecoins are risky, right? And we saw that with TUSD, for example, and the whole Luna debacle, you know, so that's probably the most American word I've ever said, and because of that, you know, I've always, even before this happened, I've always said, you know, the best thing is to just go back into the dollar or the pound or whatever your home currency is, which unfortunately, yes, it does trigger a taxable event, but at least, you know, your money is safe. So you know, that's just my take, you know, and you're gonna have to consult a professional. I mean, I'm sure depending on how you do this, there could be a way where, you know, you just move it back into dollars, but it's still part of your investment portfolio, so you don't pay capital gains. I don't know how it works. I don't claim to know how it works. I live in the Middle East. Taxation is haram. literally. So I'm chilling in the Middle East, and I'm blissfully ignorant on this, but yeah, like I said, you know, this is one of those things where, you know, if stable coins become less appealing, you know, the thing is that if we look at coin market cap, now this is going to be a little bit hard to see because we're going to have to add them up, but you can get a picture of this very quickly. If we look at the market cap of, you know, Tether right here, we're at 70 billion. You add on, you know, USDC, we're at 70 plus 40, we're at 110 billion. You know, add on some more like Binance USD and so on, and we're very quickly creeping up to that 130 billion number. And so the reason I came to this number is that this is basically, you know, overall, this is what stablecoins are worth in the market right now. So if all of that value floods into crypto, that's potentially a lot of buying power. Now, obviously, we're not expecting all of it to flood into crypto, because that would mean Tether would be worth nothing, BUSD would be worth nothing, USDC would be worth nothing. That wouldn't happen, obviously. And if it did, we'd probably see a lot of fear. It wouldn't be as great for crypto as you might initially think, because yes, they would have to get liquidated, so they'd probably go into Bitcoin, but the Bitcoin would then get sold off because people would probably be fairly scared at the same time, right? However, considering that, if even a little bit of that kind of floods into Bitcoin, it could definitely do some you know, cool things for Bitcoin's price, right? If we see, you know, overall people decide they want to move out of stable coins by a little bit and, you know, kind of jump into Bitcoin, which is going to become more and more appealing while the price rises up, right? Because the more price rises up, the more people feel greedy, the more they feel like they should be holding more Bitcoin, and so on and so forth. Obviously, no one's thinking about it when it's down here, but everyone wants it when it's shining and looking absolutely beautiful. Well, you know, that is another potential thing that we ought to keep in mind during this current market situation right now, because I think a lot of people will be failing to remember very, very important things like this. And obviously, you know, if you're just keeping in mind just basic fucking supply and demand, right? If something has to be sold into something else, it probably means the price will rise up. You know, that's where the prospects for these things could get a little bit more interesting. So what I'm going to be looking at is a little bit of a support hit around here before potentially continuing on up, or just breaking through this, but either way, hopefully seeing that 30k level. And for a bearish argument, you know, if we do get a rejection, like I said, support here, kind of support here would be okay, but I feel like if we do lose this area right here, then we're probably not going to find support here. This would then mean we could set a double bottom, but I don't necessarily think that would happen. It would mean that we're probably going to stop setting these higher lows and higher highs, which would be a real shame. You know, if we did something like kind of fell down to here and then resistance here and then kind of fell down, that would, you know, that would stop our trend of setting higher highs, right? We'd end up setting one slightly lower high and then continue moving down. So I am seeing it as a very important time for Bitcoin. I don't want to say it's anything like do or die for Bitcoin, but it's definitely a critical moment, and definitely not something that you know, I'd want to see Bitcoin hanging around in for too long. You know, I think that that could turn into a problem price-wise for Bitcoin right here. If we take a look at some of our support indicators, the 1 hour EMA ribbon is definitely doing some work for Bitcoin and the rest of the markets right now, which is absolutely great. 4 hour EMA ribbon still very far away, but now lining up with our existing area of support, which is very reassuring indeed. Daily time frame, it is curving up very nicely, again lining up with the same area, so I'm expecting a lot of support here if Bitcoin falls down into this range. Did we have that kind of... yeah, we didn't. Yeah, we had a little bit of this kind of situation back here, not quite, because the thing is the EMA is way more bullish now. See, every crossover has happened in the bullish direction. Over here, EMA was still quite bearish, so momentum wasn't really on our side when we were trying to get up here, but now momentum is on our side, and that is definitely something that I think you know, could help Bitcoin out a little bit more. And if we take a look at the Ichimoku cloud as well, daily time frame, it's still very far away, still also quite low, but 4 hour time frame, it is now completely closed up, just glitching up because the price is fucking confused right now, which is hilarious. And on the hourly time frame, again lining up with the very same area of support that we are already expecting support in for Bitcoin if we end up dropping down that low. So I think that is a very nice place for Bitcoin to be sitting at. The other thing that I want to do very quickly is actually throw on a Fibonacci retracement on this chart and see if there's any particularly interesting levels that we could you know, extract from this chart. So I want to specifically draw it from this low right here up to our current high. You know, and we've got the 38233 level right between these two lines, and right there, if I go ahead and remove this, wow, guess what, guys? We have painted the exact same fucking range on my other chart, 22.7 and 23.9. Yeah, pretty much the exact same levels. So very, very important Fibonacci levels. That is perfect. If we can get a retracement down to here, that would be one hell of a buy, I think. You know, a very, very nice 382 retracement to potentially take advantage of. You know, and so that is also something that I'm going to be looking at in this market. So there you go, guys. My thoughts on what we've been seeing in this market with the news and the current price action. Definitely a very, very exciting time, and these trading opportunities are absolutely rife in this market right now, guys. I want you to be able to take advantage. I want you to be able to take advantage of it with up to 30k in rewards using OKX. This is the exchange that I'm going to be trading my next move on as well. I'm going to be sharing what that next move is inside of VIP, which you can join by following the link in the description for 𝗤𝗡𝗡𝗧 VIP as well. But if you do want to trade on one of the same platforms that I'm using, one of the platforms that's been around for a very long time, OKX has been around for 6 years without any issues, which is a big, big deal. Not many exchanges still around today can actually say that. Very few can say that, right? Some have been around since then, some have been around since before then, but almost all of them have had problems. They've had hacks, they've had all sorts of issues. OKX, I haven't seen anything like that, which is absolutely phenomenal. And to get up to 10k in rewards, all you have to do is sign up, register it for an OKX account, and to boost that by another 10k you only have to deposit $50, and to boost that up to 30 you just have to start trading. So very, very cool. Great opportunities in this market right now to take advantage of. OKX is one of the best places to be for that, so definitely take advantage of that if it's something that you think you'd be interested in. And I do want to remind you that Bybit is also running their own 30k reward, which you can get by heading on over to the rewards hub right here, and this is just straight cash deposited into your account that you can trade with, which means that if you make money with it, you can withdraw it. If you put that 30k into a ridiculous trade and it just ends up making money, you can withdraw all the profits you make from that. And of course, if you lose it, it doesn't really matter. So very, very cool stuff there. Very, very cool indeed. I hope you've enjoyed this one. You know what to do. If you have, hit up the likes, subscribe, tick the bell, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.